Good afternoon, everyone. I am Carrie Little, the blogger for Little.com, the host of Coffee with Carrie every Friday on Instagram, and per Amazon, the best-selling author of the Real Estate Agents Journal. And I have my twin sister here with me today, who is also the author of the Principles Journal. Is that right, Mina?
Correct. The Principles Journal, The Journey. It's an interactive journal for site leaders. Absolutely.
So today, we just thought we really, in 30 minutes or less, we're going to talk about the new tool called Clubhouse. So, this is what I thought I'd do. Since my sister's been using it, and because the education arena just had the first education conference on Clubhouse, I'll let her talk about that conference that just happened over the weekend. And then, Mina, maybe you should introduce yourself because I didn't really do a good job.
That's okay. So my name is Dr. Mina Blazy, and yes, I am an identical twin, as you can see right next to me, and I am in Southern California on my lunch break, and I'm a director of research, learning, and data. And basically, what that means is I work at the district level, and I do professional development for principals and teachers, and specifically in the area of science and mathematics. So that's just a little bit about me. I do so much more. I'm going to turn it back over to you, Carrie.
Okay, so we said in 30 minutes or less because this was kind of an impromptu because we've been using Clubhouse probably since December, maybe November, where so for me, Sheena Baker was the one like, Carrie, you need to get on it. I'm like, not another thing. I'm not doing it. She's like, no, you really should do it. So I've been using Clubhouse now since December, and there have been a lot of cool updates and changes. But Mina, what I'd like you to do is talk about that education conference that just happened. Then we'll talk about how you're using Clubhouse as an instructor, as a former principal, and as a data researcher, and how you plan on using Clubhouse. So, talk about the conference that just happened over the weekend.
Okay, so actually, the conference was put on by two gentlemen that about 2 months ago got on Clubhouse, and they're educators in actually Southern California. And they said, you know what? I already use my club. I need you to go and get the educator conference club. So they decided that with the help of the innovators of Clubhouse is to design an actual conference around Clubhouse. So what they did is they went out and sent out emails and went on Clubhouse and started going and popping into different rooms and saying, if you like the Google form, fill this out if you want to present. And, for educators, that's like a treat because typically we don't always get chosen at conferences. And it was free. So you fill out a form, they organize it, they got people to volunteer for free. And it was like this free conference. And it was actually kind of fun. They had conferences in Chinese. They had conferences in other native languages. They had conferences in Spanish. We had people from all over the world that were actually meeting together. People that I met on Clubhouse from England and China and New Zealand. So you got to work with people that you typically wouldn't work with. And here's how it worked. You could present at the conference, or you could choose to moderate at the conference. So I'm going to assume that some of you know what Clubhouse is about. If you moderate, that means you're in the room and you get to talk. So what they did is they said, well, you can teach, but you might need some help behind the scenes. So instead of me presenting, what I did is I was behind the scenes and actually with the person presenting, and I moderated their room, and which was more dynamic for me because I didn't have to think. I wasn't prepared to do that. But everything for education, everything from talking about how to find a home in education right now, how to look at science content, how to work with your community, how to work with equity, and how to interact with students, the learning loss right now, and how kids are learning from home. I mean, we had two keynotes, one in England and one in the United States. So basically, one was for me, 1 o'clock in the morning, and then the next one was at noon the next day. So it was available to anyone. And I actually popped into a couple of rooms in Mandarin just to see what it was like because
Hopefully, they can pull you up on stage.
actually they did. They tried to, and I had to send her a message and said I was just listening just to kind of see if that was something I wanted to do. And she said, I wonder if you spoke Mandarin. She said, but are you going to go and learn now? So it prompted me to want to go and learn Mandarin. So from that perspective, it was wonderful. I feel like more people should do it. And wait, the Clubhouse innovators actually promoted the conference too. So they reached out with them to actually promote it. It got to the point
So
where
when
they,
you said Clubhouse Innovator, tell us what that is.
so the people who designed the app tweeted about it, they talked about it, and then this Sunday during their Clubhouse town hall, they brought it up and really pushed it and talked about how great it was for people around the world. So
Yeah, I
that's
thought that was interesting because every Sunday, Clubhouse, the founder, and there's at least three other people that kind of hang out with him, and one person asks questions. And so there's, I can't think of what her name is. I always take a screenshot, but she kind of gives the recap of what happened in Clubhouse last week,
like
and
the
when they
black
brought,
hat lady.
yeah, right, she's kind of sharp because I was looking at her IG account. So what I thought was kind of cool was they brought up the Educate conference, and I was like, there's so many ways you can use Clubhouse. So let me step back a second. So I saw that this was advertised. I saw that there were different rooms you could go into. So that means that there were rooms happening simultaneously in different languages. But if you were watching in English, were there any competitive rooms, or did you make sure that every room was happening at different times?
So
Meaning, could we have had two different rooms happening, and then I got to choose where I got to go, or did I get to, or did I follow a schedule?
okay, so good question. So they created a website called educate.world, and there were more sessions happening at the same time. So you could go and make a copy of the Google Sheet and decide which ones you wanted to go to. So if you were up all night, you could have gone to one at 2 o'clock in the morning. So you're right. And then people could take notes with that. So you had to choose. You couldn't go to all of them. But see, what's great about Clubhouse, when you're at a conference and you're like, I don't really want to be in here, you pick all your stuff up, people watch you leave. In Clubhouse, you just hit leave quietly and no one knows that you left unless it's a smaller room. So it's kind of nice that you got to pop in and out if you wanted to without everybody kind of watching and seeing what you were doing. And depending on what room you went to or what session you went to, some people went out of their way. There was one session where it was actually all of us moderating together, and we took a whole week to plan it. Like it was planned down to the hour, where I moderated with someone else, where it was kind of I prompted with questions. It was guided, but it wasn't as organized to the point where we had free giveaways. We had,
How did I get the giveaway? Did they have to follow you on Twitter, or ask? Did you get their address from Twitter? How'd they do that?
actually, what we did is that we used the club notes, and we also used our link trees. So if you had Linktree, you click on Linktree and you could click on the Google Sheet, the main
Mhm.
moderator, and you clicked on it and you actually got all of our bios that we all read. We read our story about why we went into education, and we kept it under between 1 and 3 minutes. And then we all typed it out, and it's on a PDF that it was available to.
So, if I won a prize, how did I get my prize?
So the other thing was the prize was is you sent whoever won the prize, they had to send a DM to a specific person, because we did give away stuff like gift cards and stuff like that.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Cause Marky and I, what we typically do is we'll give away our journal. You could have given away your journal, right? Because that's easy. Just go to Amazon and ship it. So there's a lot of cool things you could do with Clubhouse. So, all right. So if I were to say to you, when it comes to Clubhouse, we got Instagram, we've got Twitter, we've got LinkedIn. Because right now we're streaming to four places on Facebook. We're streaming to YouTube, and we're also streaming to LinkedIn. If I were to say to you, Mina, why Clubhouse versus Instagram, or why Clubhouse versus LinkedIn, or maybe why Clubhouse and LinkedIn or Instagram or Facebook. Why do you think people should take advantage of Clubhouse? Because this is my space. I'm great with video. I'm great with creating graphics, because that's the space I came from before getting into the real estate industry. Why should someone invest in or start using Clubhouse? And we do know some of you are like, well, Droid isn't there yet. Just hold on, it's coming. So
So
why?
I am going to tell you that Clubhouse is my thing. And because I'm a little bit more comfortable being on live, there was a point where you would say, Mina, you gotta like wiggle and move when you're so stiff, because I was so worried about what I looked like. Once I got past that, I'm okay. But with Clubhouse, I can be myself and not worry about what I look like. You get to just see the beautiful picture that I put on there, and it's only an audio app. So you can be in a room with people and have a conversation, and they only hear what you have to say. And because of that, the conversation is a little bit more relaxed in the sense. And not to mention, what I like is that typically I might get 10 followers a day on Instagram or 10 followers a day on Twitter. I started December 23rd, went active at the end of January, early February, and within that, I almost have 2,000 followers. So the engagement is a lot faster for me. And now I have people that I can collaborate about things that I couldn't talk about before because I was kind of isolated. And then during my lunch and maybe if I take a quick 10-minute break, I can listen in on a conversation and take notes about something that I'm not familiar with. I typically won't do it during the school day because I've got so much to do. But in my car, I can do it in the car because it's a listening app. Now, I can
And
do
then
it
you're
in the
not
car.
watching it because, like, if I'm listening to YouTube, we want to. That's why you don't watch video in your car because you're going to want to look, even if they're just talking. So
Mhm.
that's why Clubhouse is almost like the next. It's the podcast that you can't replay because they do have rules about recording. So you say Clubhouse is your thing. You found your niche, your niche. How are you going to use Clubhouse moving forward?
Okay, so one of the things I like about Clubhouse is that you get to create your own club within Clubhouse. So right now I have three clubs. I have the STEM and STEAM Education Club that I co-moderate with another person, Dr. Berthina. I have Collective Conversations that I actually still co-moderate with anyone that wants to do that club, but particular it's with Dr. Berthina and Carrie, you're an admin as well. And then I have a new club called Leading While Female, and I haven't pushed that one out. But here's what's nice about Clubhouse. Typically, yes, you do need to have an iPhone right now, but in the past, you only got so many invites. So if you wanted to come, you had to find someone that had an invite. So it's kind of like a situation where it's a privilege to get in. But now with your club, every club I have 1,000 invites. So I now can push that link out on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook,
But does
Reddit.
everybody get that link?
Everybody that has a club gets 1,000 invites. So what that means is that so here's the big picture. If you are on Clubhouse, you kind of understand. You can be a member of my club or you can join my club. It's kind of like if I was a member of a nice golf club, I have to pay a fee. Now, you don't have to pay a fee. Sooner or later that will come in. But you can join a club and just kind of join for free in situations. So just think of it like if you join my club, I didn't make you a member. So when you click on the link, you're joining my STEM or STEAM club, or you're joining my Collective Conversation club. I choose who becomes a member because I read your bio. I want to see if that's something I really, if you're going to make a good addition, and not to mention, you could be a bot. So they have robots out there that come in and do things, and I won't go into that right now. So I pushed out my Collective Conversations on Twitter, and I got 30 new members who are now on Clubhouse because of me.
So, well, here's the question because Ebony is asking. She asked me, but we'll ask Mina. Do you have Leading While Female through your Amazon store? Do you have an Amazon store yet?
Yes, I do, but I will post it on Twitter in a little bit. I do.
But not everybody's on Twitter in the real estate world, so can you put it on your link tree?
I'll put it on my. It is on my link tree already, I think. Matter of fact,
Okay.
yeah, I'll even check, but I'm pretty sure it's there. If not, it will be there within the next 20 minutes.
Okay. So, because that's kind of cool. So you can now let me ask this question: with your collective conversations, is that link in your link tree so people can join the club, and then you can choose to make them a member of the club?
Well, Not yet, because that feature came out yesterday. I will have that up in the next 30 minutes. The STEM one will be up, and the Leading Well Female will be up. The Leading Well Female, there is a book out there, and I actually am a facilitator of a group. However, that book, it's like everybody should read it. Yeah, it's kind of around education, but that's not even the point, because everyone is an educator. And if you're in real estate or any other arena, you are in education because you're always going to professional learning or
No,
whatever.
we're always training our buyers, teaching our
Right.
sellers, teaching because Ebony works with investors. I know Carla, she works with sellers. They both do. So I know we're always educating. So we're in the education space. It's just that maybe some of us don't have the platform yet to be speakers. So, all right. So you mentioned that you now have this ability to invite 1,000 people to be a member of your club.
Right.
You also, I also know there's a few more updates on Clubhouse. Tell us about the feature where you can actually get paid. So let's say, for example, Ebony wanted to have a paid event or just have an event and say for 60 minutes, I'm going to give you all of my tips on investing in real estate in the Atlanta area. And if you would like to give me a tip, you can go to my bio and pay. So talk about that and talk about the tool they have to connect.
Okay, so the privilege about being in the United States is that the people who created the app created the pay feature. It says send money at the bottom, but the only people that can get it are in the United States. They have not made it available to other countries because there's some things they have to work out. So right now it's an option. It's like a tipping feature. What I really like is that they organized it enough through the company that they use. I think it's called Split, and you get a 1099 at the end of the year. So even if you're not keeping, well, there's statistics with it. It keeps track of it for you, but you'll get a 1099 at the end of the year that you can just put on your taxes. So it keeps track of it for you. That feature I like. And when you click on the send money, it'll give you an option of 5, 10, 15, or other. So if you were in my bio, I would tell you to pick other and go up, not down. I'm just kidding. Not really. But anyway, I just think that people who give you good information, giving them, a lot of people on Clubhouse, this might be their only business. So giving them a tip is a good thing. You can get a tip on TikTok, you can get a tip on other platforms.
You can get
So
a tip on Instagram. You can get a tip on Facebook. You can get a tip on TikTok. And now you can get a tip on Clubhouse. And this tool is stripe.com. And let me tell you, when you set it up, because I can get a tip on my podcast through Anchor. So I have an Anchor Stripe, and then I had to create another Stripe because when you use a third party, they don't really talk well together. So here's my tip. All of you that are watching today, if you are on Clubhouse, at least go see if you got the feature because I do believe, right, Mina, they rolled it out to certain people. Just simply go to your, I almost want to share my screen, but if I do, um, might take me a little longer. But when you are in your bio and you go down to the bottom, there is a spot where it says payments, and you can add payments if it's available for you. If it's not, just keep logging in and keep checking your bio, and then add your Stripe account. I can't see very well on this phone, so I went to stripe.com, added my EIN for my business. I added my all of my information, my banking information on the computer, and then I came back to the app and I connected my Stripe account. So that means when Mina goes to my account and she scrolls down, and when she taps on my face, she can give me a tip. So
you
kind
can't
of
see your
cool.
own, though. You can't see your own. You can. So I screenshot it and sent it to her. The other thing about Stripe is that I use my Social Security number, so don't think you need an EIN number. I did use my Social Security number,
But I
so don't.
think you need an EIN. Just saying.
But to get it started, I was like, I just wanted it there, so I used my Social Security number. So that is definitely available. I do recommend that. But to get the feature, I think there's this idea that you have to moderate. What you do have to do is interact with the app. Go in and listen to somebody's conversation. Contribute by going on stage. You don't have to be a moderator to get the feature. So I think if you're intimidated by that right now, just make sure that you're active and and be aware of where you go. You don't need to be popping into rooms. Listen for a little bit. It's okay to just listen. I think the people that pop in and out of rooms, I'm very aware of who they are. Like they're just all over the place. They're trying to get followers, and that's, yes, you'll get followers, but I want my followers to be meaningful.
I wonder if that's Marky saying, "Hey guys," it just sounds like Marky. Hey Marky, we're gonna do this again. But okay, so before we end, because we said in 30 minutes or less, I do want to remind all of you, if you are watching live now, I will be live on Amazon at 3 p.m. Central Time. But I want to ask Mina. So you said, definitely check out different rooms. Definitely check out the Explore. Definitely, if you are asked to speak, I was asked to speak. I got a DM today, Carrie. Hey, can you hop on to how real estate agents are using Clubhouse tomorrow at 8 a.m.? And I was like, no, I have to teach 300 new agents tomorrow morning. And I was like, I think I can jump in for 30 minutes. And it's a 2 hour Clubhouse. For me, the way I use Clubhouse is I'm like 60 minutes and I'm done. Could we go longer depending? Yes, but I think you kind of start to lose people. But there are some people that stay on for hours and they've done well at it. So if you
I
were,
like the hour feature though. I like the hour feature because it gives people an opportunity to leave and not feel like they're obligated to stay with you.
yeah, oh yeah, because we get sucked in. Because there was one that was happening every Monday, and I was like, oh my gosh, this it was so long, and I was like, let me hop off the stage, let me send them a DM. So again, before we end, talk about we know Clubhouse is an audio built app. Talk about how when you do want to chat with someone, what methods are you using to have
Okay.
a conversation if it's going to be text because maybe they can't come up on stage and be a part of the conversation, or maybe you put out, hey, if you want to ask me a question, here's how, and then talk about the new tool that's available to collaborate because Clubhouse's goal, will you tell them the goal of Clubhouse and why there isn't a chat feature?
Okay. So there isn't a chat feature because they don't want you to chat during um, the actual Clubhouse event. What they want you to do is have a meaningful conversation and talk with each other. And they also, the goal of the app is for you to go in and out of rooms that you may not be comfortable in. So get out of your education arena, get out of your real estate arena and meet other people because you're going to cross over into other content areas. And who knows, it might help your business more. And so when I'm in a room and I'm moderating with someone, what we do is we call it the back channel. So if there is 5 of us, 10 of us, we are all in IG. We name the group, and we all chat and have a dialogue. And we will, in education, we're like, okay, so and so, you introduce the next person, and that's so the main person isn't exhausted by introducing the next person, and so, you reset the room now, or we might even have that already set. Or so read the bio before you bring them up and let us know if they're a good idea to bring up. Or and so I need you to go and read the bios of people around there and then send them a DM to see if they would like to come and contribute because they may be new and we kind of want to bring them up. The other thing that we typically use IG for that because IG is it's it's linear and a lot of people use it. I've used Twitter back channel, but that I don't really like it as much as IG because we like that we've named our groups. The other thing that we do is that if we can't bring people on the stage within an hour, we use what's called getthehostnotes.com. Get 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 no, I'm sorry, gethostnotes.com. And it literally you can stick in your Clubhouse link and you can have a dialogue and people can shoot their questions out and send them to the room. And you can say, so and so just asked this question. I think that's a great question. And then you answer it. Would any of the other moderators like to add? Because then they don't feel obligated to come to the stage and it's a little bit more efficient. So gethostnotes.com. We highly recommend that one. We also have somebody in the back that's going, I'm on Canva and I'm creating all of the quick tweets that somebody said that was a good quote. And then I tag everybody in the room and then they retag it and they reshare it. Sometimes they create a picture, because E1 for IG. We always will go on IG stories, Fleet, and LinkedIn as well. So we have two or three, like if we have 8 people moderating, we have people that won't even talk at all but that's all they're doing in the back. And we have somebody that's really good at Canva in the sense, and she will create a 4 picture IG slide quickly on that because she's already got the
So you
template.
can just go and rewatch it. And let me tell all of you my tip because you know what's about to happen. For those of you that know me, my recommendation is number one, have a white page that you already built. Number two, have a second page ready so someone can take notes. And then already have your Google form created so you can capture leads, because you could repurpose this. If you're going to say all things Atlanta, all things Buckhead in the Atlanta marketplace, you could actually create a download. Same thing for Chicago, Carla, right? You could say all things in Streeterville or on Michigan Avenue, everything you can do, and you're going to talk about it for 30 minutes on Clubhouse. The cool thing is someone might jump in and say, oh, yeah, we should go on the crime tours. Or, oh, yeah, maybe we should go hit the Nordstrom on Michigan Avenue. Or maybe we should go check out the Realtor building, and you could have all of that information available, but someone else will say it, and then you could add it to your Google Drive that's already created. Because my number one goal for Clubhouse is to use it not just to get more followers, but to create a database of people that I can email and market to, so then they can sign up for my downloads, or they could sign up to take another course with me. Because I want to get you, I want you to stay in Clubhouse. I want you to collaborate with me because, of course, today, because we are on Restream and I don't have my Zoom makeup on, although I guess I'm doing okay. Maybe I should turn the lights on brighter. My point is the cool thing about Clubhouse is you don't have to see me. I could be sitting in my bed. I could probably be sitting in places you don't want to know about, and I could mute myself and be on Clubhouse. So that is the beauty of it. So, Mina, give us your top tips for Clubhouse before we end. And we just want to remind all of you, please take a moment to follow Mina on Instagram. Let's see if we can get her count up. I know she likes Twitter, but this is where all of the real estate agents hang out. And then let us know, and also go to her link tree so you can follow her when she's going to do another Clubhouse event. So
Yes.
go.
So my tips are moderate with more than one person, at least three. The reason why I say three is because it's clean, and there's the three of you, and then you all get what we call the green bean, the moderator, a little green icon. And the other tip is to have a back channel. Have a back channel on IG, and have somebody that takes notes. But we do our notes on Google Docs, in a Google document. And then always have somebody that can tweet at least once or twice, and so other people can share it. And then make sure that you're reading the bios when you're on Clubhouse, because you got some crazy people, and I will not bring people up if they are on if they don't have a bio and they are not linked to at least uh, Twitter or Instagram, because they come up and they will shock you. They will just lose it, and they will be on your stage, and people are shocked. We know how to get rid of them quickly, but that is, don't we even say, if you don't have a bio or a Twitter or an Instagram account, unfortunately we cannot bring you up to the stage. And if they have their hand raised, they literally take their hand down and then they leave your room, because we know what they were about to do. So
And I'll say this, if I know you, I probably bring you up because I invited you to Clubhouse and I know who you are. But Clubhouse is working on the feature to mute everyone and to lock it. So there's some cool things coming to kind of help people out with that. But so this is the other tip I heard. Create your bio. And my recommendation is that you create your bio in like Evernote. So here's my Evernote account, because then that way I know that in a pinch, because Mina, you lost your bio by mistake, right? Right. So she deleted it and then it wasn't, so she had to retype the whole thing. So,
it keeps the icons in Evernote as well the same way. And then I have three different bios. So depending on the room I'm in, I can just quickly change it. And so if a lot of the rooms that we go into, somebody's going to introduce you and read your bio. So I have a paragraph ready to go for them, so they don't have to work that hard and try to figure it out.
all right. So, everyone, thank you for joining us today. This is my identical twin sister, Dr. Mina Blazy, joining us from California, where it is a little bit after 12 p.m. And I am Carrie Little, your broker. I mean, I shouldn't say broker, not your broker, your blogger for carrielittle.com. Join me on Instagram every Friday for Coffee with Carrie. And don't forget, the goal of Clubhouse is philosophy is always creator first. Thank you.